Hey there. In this video, we are going to look at order of operations, specifically at what is the order of operations and how can we use an acronym to help us remember the order of operations. So we are going to start with a simple expression. So we will start with 1 plus 2 times 2. And we want to know, is this simplification order correct? So if I just start left to right and I do 1 plus 2 first, that's going to be 3. And then I multiply by 2 and I get 6. Now, unfortunately, as we'll see, the order of operations does not work in that order necessarily always from left to right. So the order of operations rules actually indicate that unless specified otherwise, multiplication is always going to become before addition. Therefore, the correct way to actually solve the problem would be to start with the multiplication, 2 times 2, which gives us 4. And then we do 1 plus 4, which gives us 5. So 5 is actually the correct answer for this problem. So the order of operations is a set of rules that determine which mathematical operation to perform first in order to evaluate a given mathematical expression, and specifically to evaluate it correctly. In order to remember this order, remember the common acronym PEMDAS, often referred to as PEMDAS. Many people learned the phrase, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," or something along those lines. So if that can help you remember it, you can use that. The first letter of each of those words spells that PEMDAS, which stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. And this can help you remember the order of letters in the acronym. So, like we said, PEMDAS is the acronym. P for parentheses, E for exponents. M and D actually go together as one, multiplication and division. And same for A and S. A and S are addition and subtraction, and those actually go together as one as well. It should help you remember the order in which to perform the 4 basic operations in a single expression. And again, those 4 would be our parentheses, our exponents, multiplication and division go together as one, and then addition and subtraction go together as well. So first you have to calculate anything that is in parentheses or anything that is in bracket or grouping symbols. That will be done first. Once you've done what is inside, simplified what's inside, you can remove those parentheses. Then you move on to exponents. Exponents are going to be, remember, the little number up in the top right after a number base. And that tells us a little bit more about it, the power of the base, so what to multiply and how many times to multiply it. We can use exponents in a fraction form to indicate what we call a root. Additionally, multiplication and division will be performed always from left to right. So when you get to the step, you've done your parentheses, you've done your exponents, then we go on to multiplication and division, and we just do it in the order it shows up in the expression from left to right. Same concept for addition and subtraction. From left to right, do it in that order, whatever comes first. So looking at this chart here, we have "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," or PEMDAS. And notice I put M and D together in one color, A and S together in one color, because multiplication and division really are in one step, and same for addition and subtraction. So a couple of reminders as you are using each of these steps in the order of operations. For parentheses, if you have parentheses inside of parentheses, you're going to start with the innermost parentheses first, and you'll see that in a future order of operations video as well. And then additionally, expressions within parentheses, we have to use order of operations within those. So if I'm simplifying an expression and I've got parentheses here and I've got some other stuff after it, when I'm simplifying whatever's in the parentheses, I also have to start with the order of operations, P, then E, then MD, then AS, within those parentheses before I expand to the rest of the expression. For exponents, this can include powers, like I mentioned, the little number up at the top right on a base, or it can be roots, which can be expressed as a root symbol here, or it can be expressed as an exponent, but to a fraction exponent. So 1 over y would be the same thing here and there. Exponents of an exponent. So if you have 2 to the 3rd power to the 2nd power, you are actually going to evaluate the top exponent first. So you're going to work top down. You're going to do the squared on the 3 first and turn that into a 9. And so then your base will stay the same as 2, and it would be 2 to the 9th. It would not be 2 to the 3rd power first, which would be 8, and then squaring that. That is not correct. So it would be starting at the top and working your way down if you were to have an exponent on an exponent. Multiplication and division, like I said, you're going to work left to right on that. And same for addition and subtraction. I do want to point out for division, if division is involved, you always simplify left to right. Otherwise, you might get an incorrect answer. But if there is ever just multiplication, you can simplify that in any order. So if I have just a bunch of numbers being multiplied, remember, because of the commutative property, or depending on how you look at it, the associative property, I can change the order. I can change which numbers I multiply first, all of that. So again, with addition and subtraction, you always want to work left to right. But if it's just subtraction, keep that in mind, still do that. But if it is just addition in that expression, then you are going to want to keep in mind that you could add those in a different order, just like we talked about with multiplication. So because the commutative and associative properties of addition, if there's only numbers being added and that is the only operation present, then you could change the order if that helps you. So let's take a look at these two examples here. So we're going to simplify the expressions using the order of operations. So first one, we have 8 times 20 divided by 10 minus 5 plus 9 in parentheses. So first thing we want to do, I'm going to write out our order of operations, PEMDAS. So parentheses are first. So first thing we want to do is whatever's in the parentheses. There is only one operation in the parentheses, so we just go ahead and add. Everything else stays the same. 8 times 20 divided by 10 minus. Once I do every operation in the parentheses, I can drop those parentheses. So 5 plus 9 is 14. I no longer need those parentheses there. So I've done my parentheses, then I can go on to my exponents. So now I'm looking for exponents. There are no exponents. There are no little numbers on a base like this up here. So that means exponents is done. I can move on to multiplication and division from left to right. So you are simply going to look left to right. 8 times 20 is the first multiplication or division operation we see. So we're going to go ahead and evaluate that. 8 times 20 is going to be 160. And then we still have divided by 10 minus 14. Now that did not complete all multiplication and division. So I'm going to go ahead and look again. And I see that I still have division here. 160 divided by 10. When you do 160 divided by 10, you get 16. And then we still have minus 14. Now I have completed all multiplication and division. So that step is complete. And I can move on to addition and subtraction. There is only one operation left. That is 16 minus 14, so subtraction. So we do that, 16 minus 14, and we get 2 as our final answer. All right, and now for number 2, same concept. We have a bunch of different operations, and we want to make sure we follow that order of operations, P, E, M, D, and A, S. So first we have parentheses. We do have parentheses in this expression. Again, we only have one operation in that set of parentheses. 16 minus 8 is going to give us 8. We still have divided by 2 plus 5 times 3 squared minus 20 divided by 10. So we evaluated our parentheses, so that is done. Now we can go on to our exponents. So with exponents, we do have exponents this time, 3 squared. So everything else will stay the same, 8 divided by 2 plus 5 times 9. 3 squared is really 3 times 3. And then minus 20 divided by 10. So we did our exponents. Those are done. We can check that off. And now we go on to our multiplication and division from left to right. So you can see here, the first multiplication or division operation we come across is 8 divided by 2. So we have 8 divided by 2, which is 4, plus 5 times 9 minus 20 divided by 10. So that was one piece of multiplication or division. Now we want to look and see if there's anything else. So again, I'm going to start from the left. We already evaluated this one to get 4. And then we have plus 5 times 9. So 5 times 9 has to come next. So we'll do that. And we have 4 plus 45 minus 20 divided by 10. Again, we want to make sure that we've evaluated all multiplication and division. So I look left to right. 4 plus 45 minus 20 divided by 10. So 20 divided by 10, I can go ahead and evaluate. And when I do that, I end up with 2. So it'll be 4 plus 45 minus 2. Now I have evaluated all multiplication and division, so that is complete. And I can go ahead and take a look at addition and subtraction. So there is addition and then there is subtraction. So we're going to go ahead and do that left to right. So we will do 4 plus 45 first. And when we do 4 plus 45, we get 49. And then we subtract 2. And when you do 49 minus 2, you get 47. And that is our answer on that one. So while in the United States, PEMDAS or PEMDAS is the most common acronym used, there are other acronyms in other English-speaking nations that use different acronyms or different letters to represent the order of operations. So just a quick note, in the UK, Australia, and India, the common acronym is BODMAS, which stands for brackets, just like parentheses, order, standing for the exponents in ours, division and multiplication, and addition and subtraction. Still grouped together, division and multiplication together, adding and subtracting together. In Canada and New Zealand, BEDMAS stands for brackets. Again, just like parentheses, it's just more general. They use exponents like we do, division and multiplication, just like us, and addition and subtraction, just like us. So all three versions mean exactly the same thing. You should just use whichever one you will remember best. So a quick summary, we have our order of operations here, PEMDAS, and our order represents what we do first, then second, so on and so on. So remember, parentheses have to come first, then exponents, then multiplication and division from left to right in the expression. And then once all of that is evaluated, then you move to addition and subtraction from left to right in the expression. Now, again, that is our order. It's helpful because it helps us to make sure that we do the correct portion first and then next, and so on and so on, the order that we need to do it in order to get the correct answer. Additionally, remembering the order PEMDAS, if that's the acronym that you're going to use, you can use a saying like, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and anything along those lines, whatever you can come up with that will help you remember best for you. So I do want to make a note. Remember, just now I went through some acronyms for other countries. So those are options as well if you prefer that route.